The virtual CISO moment is brought to you by vCISO Services. vCISO Services' mission and calling is to provide quality cybersecurity and information security consulting and expertise for small and mid-sized businesses. While they are a leading provider of qualified and experienced virtual CISOs, they offer much more. Check them out at vcisoservices.com. Hi, I'm Greg Schaefer, and welcome to the VCM Wrap Up for Friday, May 19th, 2023. Start out today with an interesting little summary opinion piece. Security Intelligence asks, is patching the holy grail of cybersecurity? It's an interesting question. A proactive approach to cybersecurity includes ensuring that all software is up to date across assets. This also includes applying patches to close up or address vulnerabilities. This practice also minimizes risk as it eliminates outdated software versions in the process. The question is, does this make patching a catch-all cybersecurity solution? I would say probably not, but part. While patching is an important component of cybersecurity, other security solutions and strategies must complement it. Yes, I would agree, including firewalls, antivirus software, and employee security risk awareness training. There's a word for this strategy. We'll say what that word or words is at the end of this brief. Interestingly, the most recent X-Force Threat Intel Index reports that 26% of 2022 vulnerabilities had known exploits. Data tracked from the early 1990s to the present shows that the proportion of known exploits dropping in recent years, highlighting the effectiveness of well-maintained patch management processes. Now, successful patch management begins with identifying vulnerabilities. Of course, this can seem like a tidal wave of potential compromises since they exist in nearly every piece of software. In 2022, NIST reported more than 23,000 new vulns. Of that number, it classified more than 17,000 as critical. So patch management is a component of vulnerability management that provides orgs with an automated means to apply software patches issued by vendors to address security vulnerabilities. What are the words that I was referring to? Did you guess that when I said it earlier? We call it layered security. The Register reports that PharMerica, one of the largest pharmacy service providers in the United States, has revealed its IT systems were breached, and it's feared that the intruders stole personal and healthcare data belonging to more than 5.8 million past customers. This cyber heist happened around March 12th when an unknown third party gained access to computer systems and may well have grabbed patients' info, including names, dates of birth, social security numbers, medication lists, and health insurance information. This according to a notice on the PharMerica's website. A sample breach notification letter submitted to the Maine Attorney General is addressed to, quote, administrator executor of the estate of, meaning at least some of the sensitive information stolen in the breach belonged to people who are dead. This, of course, won't stop cybercriminals from stealing their identities and using their names and the personal identifiers to commit fraud. Interesting stuff. Now, PharMerica, which operates more than 180 long-term care and specialty pharmacies in 50 states, said its parent company, BrightSpring Health Services, first spotted the suspicious network activity on March 14th. It's unclear whether BrightSpring's patient data was also compromised in the breach or if the crooks only stole PharMerica's files. Neither company immediately responded to the Register's questions about the incident, but they're going to update the story if they hear back more. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor, which I would appreciate it if you would click on the link in the show notes to check out what Bitdefender has to offer. Bitdefender provides cybersecurity solutions with leading security, efficacy, performance, and ease of use to small and medium businesses, mid-market enterprises, and consumers. Guided by a vision to be the world's most trusted cybersecurity solutions provider, Bitdefender is committed to defending organizations and individuals around the globe against cyber attacks to transform and improve their digital experience. Again, please click on the link in the show notes. It does help to keep us going here. in providing this information to you. Such as this one from the Hacker News. A cybercrime enterprise known as the Lemon Group is leveraging millions of pre-infected Android smartphones worldwide to carry out their malicious operations. This is posing significant supply chain risks. Quote from cybersecurity firm Trend Micro, the infection turns these devices into mobile proxies, tools for stealing and selling SMS messages, social media and online messaging accounts, and monetization via advertisements and click fraud. Now, the activity encompasses no fewer than 8.9 million compromised Android devices, particularly budget phones, with a majority of the infections discovered in the United States, Mexico, Indonesia, Thailand, Russia, South Africa, India, Angola, the Philippines, and Argentina. Now, these findings were presented by researchers Fyodor Yarochikin, Zhengyu Dong, Vladimir Kroptov, and Paul Pajeras. Apologies if I got any of the pronunciations wrong. At the Black Hat Asia conference that was held in Singapore last week. Describing it as a continuously evolving problem, the cybersecurity firm said that the threat actors are branching out to other Android-based IoT devices such as smart TVs, Android TV boxes, entertainment systems, and even children's watches. The infections are globally spread across in over 180 countries, with over 50 brands of mobile devices compromised by a malware strain called Gorilla. Now, Bleeping Computer reports that the Department of Justice revealed that an 18-year-old man named Joseph Garrison from Wisconsin had been charged with hacking into the accounts of around 60,000 users of the DraftKings sports betting website in November of 2022. According to the complaint, the suspect used an extensive list of credentials from other breaches to hack into the accounts, which is why you should never reuse passwords. He then sold the hijacked accounts, and the buyers stole approximately $600,000 from around 1,600 compromised accounts. Garrison and his co-conspirators devised a method by allowing buyers of the stolen accounts to withdraw all funds, instructing them to add a new payment method to the hacked accounts, deposit a nominal sum of $5 to the newly added payment method to verify its validity, and subsequently withdraw all existing funds from the victim's accounts to a separate financial account under the attacker's control. Now, in a February 2023 search of Garrison's residence, law enforcement found tools commonly employed in credential stuffing attacks, such as OpenBullet and SilverBullet, which require custom config files for each targeted website. In other words, there had to be some thought behind it. Roughly 700 config files for dozens of corporate websites were found on the suspect's computer, including 11 separate ones for the betting website attacked in November. Moreover, the search also led to the discovery of at least 69 files, otherwise known as word lists, containing roughly, they say roughly, but here's an exact number, roughly 38,484,088 roughly, username and password combinations also used in credential stuffing attacks. While analyzing Garrison's phone, law enforcement agents have found additional evidence implicating the defendant in the November 2022 credential attack against the betting platform, including discussions with co-conspirators regarding the hacking of the website. I know this is serious stuff, but sometimes I do like to have a little bit of fun with it. Apple's App Store has successfully intercepted and blocked over $2 billion, that's $2 billion with a B, in potentially fraudulent transactions in 2022. Apple revealed the figures in a blog post published last Tuesday, where it also said that it rejected nearly 1.7 million app submissions last year. Apple said these rejections were primarily due to the app's failure to meet Apple's high standards for privacy, security, and content. Further, Apple revealed it terminated 428,000 developer accounts and 282 million customer accounts associated with fraud and abuse in 2022. We appreciate that, Apple. Overall, the Cupertino-based company said its app review team checked over 6.1 million app submissions, enabling more than 185,000 developers to publish their first ever app on the App Store. Quote from the blog post, over the years, Apple has introduced various measures to support an ecosystem that benefits both users and developers. As a result, the App Store has become a vibrant and innovative platform that attracts over 650 million average weekly visitors worldwide. From Cisco's blog, multiple vulnerabilities in the web-based user interface of certain Cisco Small Business Series switches could allow for an unauthenticated remote attacker to cause a denial of service condition or execute an arbitrary code with root privs on an affected device. These vulnerabilities are due to improper validation of requests that are sent to the web interface. For more information about these vulnerabilities, the blog post says to see the details section of the advisory. Now, Cisco has released software updates that address these vulnerabilities because there are no workarounds that address these vulnerabilities. SC Magazine says that Israel-based BEC attacks are on the rise. Even though nearly 3/4 of business email compromise attacks during the past year have emerged from Nigeria, Israel has been gaining traction as a base for sophisticated BEC campaigns, as evidenced by the nearly 350 BEC attacks by an Israel-based threat operation since 2021. Tech Republic apparently reported that. Major multinational organizations have been the primary target of Israel-based BEC operations, which involve the usage of advanced social engineering techniques, including the impersonation of senior corporate leaders in charge of financial transactions and email addresses, an abnormal security report showed. Attackers have sought payments of $712,000 on average, which is more than tenfold higher than average. Quote, email has always been and will continue to be a lucrative attack vector for cyber criminals. Because of this, we will likely see threat actors continue to evolve their tactics, test new approaches, and become even more targeted and sophisticated in their attempts to compromise email users. This from Abnormal Security Chief Information Security Officer Mike Britton. And then finally, I've got a list for you. It's a short one, but it's one that I saw the title for. And as you know, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, if I find a list of something cybersecurity related that looks at least interesting to me on the surface, I will read it to you live on this recording, this broadcast, and give you my reaction. And this is 3 ways hackers use ChatGPT to cause security headaches. Sounds like there's a little drama in there, but we'll go through it. We have, of course, talked about ChatGPT extensively on this podcast. It's a great tool. I actually just used it earlier this morning to remind myself on how to do a little bit of UFW stuff in Ubuntu, but that's another story. So let's see. We have 3 here. The first one, according to the article, is mass phishing. It says here that because ChatGPT is so powerful, it can reduce the amount of time it takes to create a handcrafted, personalized emails to a list of people from a few days to just minutes. And with just the click of a button, ChatGPT can answer very specific questions and use its knowledge to impersonate both security and non-security personnel experts. This is important, I think, because we have for a very long time told users that look out for phishing emails because you're going to look for bad grammar, for example, or bad spelling or something like that. AI kind of does away with a lot of that. It's going to become, we're going to have to come up with more sophisticated advice as to tell users how to identify phishing emails. They have to think a little bit more as opposed to looking for just simple attributes. Reverse engineering is number 2, saying here that ChatGPT is amazing at understanding code, even machine code. By providing either binary code or obfuscated code of a system, ChatGPT can explain how the code works, what it does in a way that makes it easy for hackers to manipulate the piece of software and enable them to gain access to this company's servers. In fact, I would submit to you that probably or possibly, I've not tried this, but they can submit a piece of code and ask that exact question. How do I use this code to enable me to gain access to company servers? I'd be very curious to see what ChatGPT would come up with. Number 3, I'm not suggesting any ideas, by the way. I'm not trying to give anybody any ideas. Number 3, smart malware. ChatGPT can function as a mini brain for malware, making it completely autonomous. Nowadays, sophisticated malware allows the hacker to tunnel through a company's servers to observe the hacked network and servers and send commands on how to extract information. This operation usually involves a hacker connecting to a malware he or she has managed, but with ChatGPT, the malware can make decisions autonomously. So it understands where the interesting data is, where passwords might be stored locally, and so on. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave. Some of you probably do not get that reference. If you do, you can be my friend. And that's it for today and for this week. Hope you had a wonderful week. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you back again on Monday for the Cybersecurity Quick Strike